Let's move to the consent agenda. For the record, I'd like to note that item 4A12 has been withdrawn. Does anybody want to pull anything off the consent agenda?
I have none.
I'll entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda as amended by taking number 12, 4A12 out.
So moved.
Motion's been made.
Second.
Second. All right, I'm going to ask that you, if we could withdraw that motion. We could withdraw the motion. Okay, and withdraw the second. Okay. So if I may take off 5 and 6. Just take we'll separately vote on 5 and 6 if that's okay. So I'll now entertain a motion other than 5 and 6. Motion's been made. And seconded. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? The ayes have it. So, Superintendent, just a little clarification on 5 and 6. Do any of these go to the town?
They all go to the town.
Okay. I mean, are any paid for by us, per se, not paid for by the town?
Well, technically, the town's paying for everything.
Right.
But when we do send it to the town, we are very clear in separating what is attributed to the bond versus what can be associated with the school fund balance.
So on 5 and 6, I'd like to, rather than say retroactive approval or any type of approval, a motion to recommend approval by the town council.
Okay.
So is that okay with that motion that was requested? So that motion's been made?
We have to say that we said it would.
Good.
I know we took it last time. We need to include the motion that we're forward and to the town.
Well, I think it's automatic. It's got to be automatic.
The town has already seen those.
I know, but that I was asked to not approve, but to request approval. So, I mean, I can go into detail, but I think that it's not a big deal. Okay, so I'll entertain a motion on 5 and 6 to request approval of the town council. Motion been made. And second? Second. All right, roll call, please. Superintendent, do you have a question?
No, just going through the mental flow chart in my head of what's going where at what point, and the town meets more frequently than you do. So there's sort of a process in which you're getting the copies and seeing everything that's happening, but the town is the approving body.
And I understand that this may be retroactive and everything else, but I'm just trying to get by that issue.
Okay.
But unless somebody has a technical issue. Okay. So a motion been made, seconded. Please roll call.
Mr. Lombardi?
Aye.
Mrs. Perez? Yes. Mr. Connell?
Yes.
Mr. Johannes? Yes. Mr. Jones?
Yes.
Mrs. Mayo? Yes. And Mrs. Vaughn? Yes. Motion carries 7-0.
Okay. So this is what the process going forward, I think, right? Every month now?
Every month we will have these bills before us, and whether they're we have authorized the superintendent, Mr. CP, to approve them and send them over. But at some point, we do need to recommend approval to the town council. So hopefully it's not holding anything up. We're moving forward, but we're also being respectful of the town council to recommend approval because we're not technically approved. Okay.
Thank you.
Report, superintendent.
Just a couple of updates. I have a few photos to show you. So this is the NSES edition as of 3 o'clock this afternoon. It has walls, it has a roof. Those tiles up there, that's insulation. You You can see along the bottom, the brickwork is beginning to be laid, and it is still very much on time. So we anticipate it to be fully completed August 15th. All right? Along with that, there's other work happening. So this is a picture from the high school today. That used to be an old-timey language lab with individual carousels and dividers and headphones and tape recorder systems for the language department. That has been dismantled, and all the work that you're seeing here is an example of the work we're doing in-house to refurbish the high school. So what you have there are, the walls are painted, and now the blue color, let me just mention that. Every teacher, as they're going through the rooms, Mr. Seefe gives them a choice of accent wall color. Wow. And so the teachers get to choose their accent wall color. So the outer walls are the white, and the univents that you see there are old brown, beigey, occasionally rusty. Those are all being sanded down, scraped, primed, and with a new coat of metal paint, which matches all the trim that we're seeing throughout the school. On this wall here, turning the camera a bit, new whiteboards are being installed, so they have new high-efficiency LED lighting, new ceiling tiles to replace the 60-year-old tiles, the 50-year-old tiles, new whiteboards, and new paint. So every single room at the high school is getting this treatment, and it's all being done by in-house maintenance for roughly about $1,000 per room for materials. So no labor, it's all being done in-house. So we're really making vast improvements at the high school for minimal expense. This room here is the art room. So this was a large special ed area. The current art room is on the second floor, which is going to be one of the new science labs. So we have to move that room out of there. So again, this is an example of the renovations happening in-house. We have new lights, the other half, you see the old fluorescents, they're being removed, and the new high-efficiency LEDs are being put in by our own electrician. The ceiling tiles being replaced, the univents on the side will be painted, the heating. Those cabinets are removed from other places in the building that don't need all the storage. So the art room requires the storage, so we're recycling our cabinetry throughout the building and repurposing as much as we can. So there's just another view. Over in the far back corner there's a huge utility sink that's being put in, and that's also, we don't have plumbing in this room, that's being done by our own maintenance and plumbers to have the sink there for washing brushes, etc. This is a shot of the second floor today. You recall you've been down on the first floor, the lockers have all been refaced. We're starting the second floor locker refacing as well. So that will be done this summer, and you can see that the paint is there, the tiles have been painted. All the public spaces now have the new ceiling tiles and the new high-efficiency LEDs, and that's what we're moving into the classrooms at this stage. That's just from kindergarten graduation, and it's just cuteness overload. So the demolition for the science labs is going to begin sometime at the end of next week. So we still need to move the furniture out. Demolition will basically, so far, everything is on time and falling within the budget. We did get our pay-as-you-go grant approved by the Department of Ed, so that monthly we will be submitting bills, and we will be getting a check back for 35% of the monies expended. Plus more eventually when they start, they figure out the incentive formula and how we fit into it. So everything is going quickly.
Great.
So the elementary edition will be done August. We're anticipating the new science labs to be completed sometime around December.
All of them?
Yes.
But what classrooms will be held in those two? What type of class?
So the classroom that you see up there, right now that's a special ed room, so it's a special ed resource. So we're going through, we're kind of rethinking the space and the proximity of departments and how they can interact, you know, how science can tie into math, how engineering ties into the statistics. And so we're doing a lot of cross-disciplinary work and sort of to not only maximize our facilities, but also our capability, our academic capabilities. The other thing I just want to point out is that we had a meeting with Chartwell's today, our food service provider, and there are a number of exciting things on tap for next year. But one of the things I want to highlight is that at North Smithfield High School, we were featured on Channel 10 for the Athlete's Choice program, in which our athletes were taking a look at the menus, making selections and sampling, and very popular, and a lot of districts are now going to be adopting our Athlete's Choice program. It will be moving into the middle school. Other districts are adopting it. But one of the things that our food service providers, several things they're looking at beginning next year, is creating more food in-house, doing homemade foods. One of the things that they said they're no longer going to purchase will be canned vegetables. So canned fruits. All fruits will be fresh. Vegetables will be fresh. They're looking at making as much as they can homemade. It's not coming out of a big vat or a jar that's shipped and frozen. So they said, for example, when they do salsa, it will be homemade salsa. They're going to revamp the breakfast lineup. So that's going to include homemade waffles, it's going to include smoothies, it's, again, expanding their offerings. They're locally sourcing a lot of vegetables, so in around October, November, there will be corn on the cob that's brought in from local farms, and that will be sold at lunch. They're looking at putting in a deli line over at the high school. In addition to the 2 kitchen serving lines, there will be kind of like a mini Subway sandwich shop to build your own sandwiches. So we're very pleased with where they're going and the types of food that they're looking at. We did have a conversation at the high school. The environmental science kids who are taking that course are very concerned about the food waste. And so they've met with Chartwell's to take a look, how can we reduce food waste in the cafeteria? And one of the things that they're currently using are either paper or styrofoam trays. And we're looking at, hang on, I have, so I'm going to try that. This is the problem when you're using a laptop and people are texting you in the middle of it. So we're looking at using, and I hate to use plastic, we're trying to get away from that, but the plastic trays are actually better than the styrofoam trays. So another example of trying to keep things more environmental, more efficient moving forward. We do have the strategic plan, which is nearly complete and will be presented to you at the next meeting. We are incorporating some information from our communication study and our communication survey. We did meet with Martin and Associates last week, earlier this week, and we have some exciting things to share. So I won't get fully into that. We may ask Justin Martin from Martin and Associates to present some of the findings that they've been doing, focus groups and surveys, and we have this great gap analysis that we want to share with you, parent expectations versus our ability to deliver, our perception of our ability to deliver. So it's a really good thing. So that's pretty much it right now. I am looking forward to resolving the budget. I'm looking forward to when we meet again next time, and we can start doing some recalls and put some of our fantastic teachers, reduce their anxiety somehow. There you go. Right.
If we can, I mean, let's, the next meeting, put Dr. Hallowell naming rights on the agenda. Superintendent, did you go through all of your reports?
I can keep talking if you want.
No.
All right.
Okay, old business, fiscal year 19 operating capital budget. Lisa?
May reports in your packet. We're just tidying up, waiting for final invoices to come in, closing out the year.
What's it gonna look like?
The same as I told you a couple of weeks ago, 50,000, give or take. Not very much.
Can we get the throw cages done for 50,000? All right, so fiscal year 20, I guess we're just in waiting mode, right? So when is that meeting for the council where they're going to actually vote on the budget?
Tuesday, 24th, 25th.
Okay, so whoever can attend, I think that would be helpful. Hopefully the 25th isn't necessary. 24th, we try to go meet with the council. Veterans Memorials, we can take the next two maybe together. Veterans Memorial Stadium Committee update and status of outdoor track roll fields. I don't know if anybody's here to speak on that.
Everything is really as needs to.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, unfortunately.
So I know just an update on the outdoor track and throw fields. The school committee at one, we received an estimate to do the throw fields, at least the fence, the throw area. It was initially at $34,000. I asked the school committee back in the day to pay for half of it, and I would be able to raise the other half through donations. That's probably over a year ago. I think that when we went out to bid, it was $150,000 or something at that level or crazy. So obviously we weren't prepared to move forward. But I did talk to the track coach, and I can't remember his name, Mr. Tech and Mr. Seepy, and I asked them to go to other areas. I can't remember, like Coventry, I think I went to. They have a throw cage. There's different places that have throw cages. You know, I think what we had bid is the net going all the way down, and I don't know if that's all necessary. And I asked them to look into it. I know that the track coach said at the most it should be $50,000. And, you know, part of it is a concrete pad, part of it is fencing. But the concrete pad, we can go to the concrete company over here and beg and plead and ask them if they can pour it for free. No, I know how we can, yeah, materials and stuff. Or house, and we can go and ask them. So it's been a priority, and there's been a lot of roadblocks in that area. But again, we can't have a home meet. We have $1 million stadium. We can't have a home meet because we don't have a throw field. It just seems a little crazy whether it's 50,000 or 100,000. And I know we have a lot of priorities, but that's something that, you know, I'll continue to look at. Hopefully I can bring a plan back to this committee with some solutions. Just wanted to put that on the record. Anybody have any questions?
Just a comment, if we could.
Yeah.
I don't want to tag too many things on here, but I think the lighter lift, if we could ever do brought this up before, just to see if we can do a cross-country home field somewhere in Smithfield here, and it might be hard to do these grounds, but it's probably an easier, if we can find the places easy to put in, just in the past, and I know between here and, may not be able to do it on these grounds because of the way we're configured, but the students don't have they don't have a home course here, and that is an advantage. It would be nice to have them the whole few meets here. Cross country too, the same thing with the track.
And I agree with you 1,000%. From what I was told is that when they had a beautiful cross-country track here, and when they built the middle school,
Yeah.
they were going to move it, but of course, it never materialized. So I'm all for that, although I'm not a big sports person. Or at least I never played in high school and all this other stuff, or I played JV, if you know, that was actually good. I truly believe that sports is part of education. It does keep our kids motivated, keep them out of trouble, and I think it's a very, very important part of education. So,
We'll work with the tech on that. We need to identify a location where big enough where we can put the field there. I mean, not like the course.
yeah. Okay. Anybody else have any comments, questions? Okay, hearing nothing further, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? The ayes have it.